Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal. Today we are going to have spaghetti and meatballs and homemade spinach dip and crackers. Can't really see the spinach dip, it's not really showing too well on camera. And then we're going to answer questions that I've been getting through Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all those. So we're going to eat just a little bit and then we're going to start with the questions. That's really good. My husband made the noodles, and I did the meatballs and sauce. And I made the spinach dip. That's my grandma's recipe. Mm. Should have gotten a little more sauce, but it's alright. Alright. First question. Have you always lived in Ohio? Yes. I've not always lived in Chillicothe. I've lived, a few places around Ohio. But it's always been in Ohio. Second question. What made you decide to go on my 600-pound life? Well, to be honest, they contacted me. I was in a lymphedema group for one of my employees. She had lymphedema and I wasn't very familiar with it, so I joined a Facebook group to learn about it so that I could help her. And my 600-pound life's executive producer reached out to me because I had posted pictures of my wedding and what it had looked like, and obviously they seen how big I was on screen or on the computer, so they reached out to me. I thought it would be a good idea because I watched the show and I thought they could help me, but it turns out I was very wrong. Very wrong about that. Do I have a favorite meal I like to cook? I like cooking spaghetti, obviously. But I really like to cook anything that my husband enjoys. I used to love cooking meatloaf, but he's not a fan of it, so I only make it like maybe twice a year because I like it. But I like cooking things that he likes and that my son enjoys because I don't know, when you're cooking for people you love and they really do enjoy it, it just means that much more. Have I thought about doing gastric bypass? Yeah, I have. Um, but I can't. I'm losing weight on my own. I've had some slip ups here and there where I've gained a few pounds back, but ultimately I'm still losing. I just kind of lost my way for a little bit. The reason I'm choosing not to do the gastric bypass surgery is because I have something called gastroparesis, which slows down the motility in your stomach and your intestines, and eventually it can quit completely and you could need feeding tubes and stuff like that. And I don't want to cut out pieces of my stomach that I need. Yes, it would help me lose weight drastically faster. It really would. But I'm already struggling to maintain nutrition. I know that's crazy sounding because I'm so big, but I live dehydrated because my body does not absorb what it should. It doesn't always absorb all my medications properly, so sometimes I end up in the ER with a flare-up because it is quite painful. The more stress you're under, the worse it gets. And if you don't eat the right foods, and I don't follow the particular diet. I'm going to live my life as best as I can. So far, I'm doing okay. I used to basically live in the hospital when this first started, but changing certain things and not having as much stress really has affected me for the better when it comes to that. So I think I maybe have to go to the ER now like once every 3 months, maybe. And that's just when the meds I have at home don't help, like with the cramping and well, it's just gross. So I'm not going to go into the details, but yeah, I'm doing a lot better. Oh, you mentioned that you waxed your face because of PCOS. Have you thought about laser removal? Thought about it, researched it, realized I'm quite poor. It's expensive, and you need multiple treatments, and not only that, it can come back. And it can come back worse, or it can come back lighter. I just don't want to waste that money for it to come back. I have a child that money could go towards. I have other things it could go towards. So shaving and waxing is life. When do you plan on talking about your experience on my 600-pound life? When I reach 1,000 subscribers, that's when I'm going to let out the full story. I do touch on it here and there occasionally, but the details. It's quite interesting. It's not what you think. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. When do you and your family plan on moving to when you move out of state? We've considered Florida, we've considered South Carolina, and we've considered Louisiana. And I think Louisiana is where our heart lies. So, when we choose to move, that'll probably be where we go. Are you attempting to continue your weight loss journey? Yep. Might not look like it based on what you see me eating here, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing a lot better than I was before the show and during the show. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? In another 5 years? Out of Ohio. And hopefully with a couple little babies. We are actively trying for pregnancy. I got the green light to try finally because I was losing enough weight and my diabetes is better and all that. But yeah, I got the green light, so we're trying. Hopefully in 5 years I'll have a couple. We'll see. But if I can't, I have Joshua. He's been the biggest blessing I've had in my life. And I'm okay if we can't conceive anymore. That was a big bite. You mentioned that you were unemployed, but there were reasons. Is it because of your mental health issues or weight issues? Both. I am limited on... I basically am self-limited because I got myself to this point in my weight. But it doesn't mean there isn't physical limitations being this big. I used to do home health work, and it got to a point where I just couldn't keep up with my clients. And I was more of a disservice than a service. So I switched to driving taxi. Easy, good money. But when you're a food addict, like me, and you get money every day and access to money throughout your shift, and you can swing through them drive-thrus, weight started packing on even worse. It was my fault. I didn't control myself. And my food addiction became a major problem. Like, I didn't let it affect my child or anything like that, in the sense that I didn't pay my bills, that he didn't have what he needed, but I'm sure he would have loved to have a mom that could go and be active with him. The best I could do was go swimming. I would, send him to do stuff with family members, but I'm sure he would have liked it if I did more with him. But the reason I left my employer this last time was because of my mental health. I had a breakdown in December, and that's when I was hospitalized, which I touched on before. I didn't leave that job on good terms because the breakdown literally happened and I was hospitalized, so I just didn't go back. I tried going back recently, which the owner was more than happy to hire me back because I'd worked for him loyally for many years. However, the insurance company wanted too much information for my liking. They wanted too many details of my breakdown, what happened after, all of that. And to me, that's none of their business. All they needed to know was, yes, I'm in treatment. Yes, I'm doing well. Yes, I can go back to work. And that just was not enough for them. So I focus on my family and my mental health, and we're doing fine. Can you explain exactly what gastroparesis is and what issues do you have because of it? Gastroparesis is a damage of the nervous system in your stomach lining. I'm going to explain it the best way that I understand it. And some of you may be more familiar with it. It can cause what I call flare-ups, which is nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, lots of pain. It's like your body hates you some days. And then other days you're fine. But I'm just in the beginning stages of it. It will get worse over time. I do follow groups like on Facebook and TikTok. I follow people that are in the later stages, and it's scary. There is no cure. It can be caused by a lot of things such as diabetes and, you know, just medications you take, lifestyle choices. Um, Mine was caused by a couple things, which I'll get into with the my 600-pound life stories. But yeah, it does. I don't have too many limitations unless I'm in a flare up, and then I don't really want to do anything my husband tries to get me to. Bless his heart. I'm a total ass when I'm in a flare up. Like, I'm really rude. I don't do well with pain. I love your nails. Do you do them yourself? Nope. Sure don't. Don't have the patience. I go to this woman named Ann here in Chillicothe, Ohio. Her shop is Nails USA. She's amazing. She's been doing my nails since I was 15 years old. She's incredible. What kinds of things do you like to write about? I'm actually getting ready to work on my book. I've always wanted to write the book of my life story. Not that I think my life is bigger, better, or worse than anyone else's. I just feel like my story could help others. Even if it just helps one person, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Have you thought about getting gastric bypass in your state? I already answered that. Where is your family while you record your mukbangs? It's so quiet when you do them. My husband's right back here. My son's in his room. They're eating. They eat at the same time I do. They're just quiet and very respectful when it comes to when I'm doing videos. But yeah, they're here. Sometimes the hubby's at work, but Josh will always go to his room and eat. Occasionally you'll see him come out that spot right there, that door, or around the corner from there to get more, and then he goes back in his room. You mentioned that you love driving. Where's your favorite place to drive to? I splattered myself. Sometimes I like to drive aimlessly. No specific place, but there's a few cemeteries around here, and I know I'm weird. I like going and visiting cemeteries. I visit Green Lawn to visit my grandma, which I'll tell you about her in another video. I love that woman. She meant the world to me. And then there's Grandview, and it has an amazing view of the city. Like, it's gorgeous up there. I just like to go meditate, sit, scroll through my phone, listen to music, that kind of thing. Randomly in the summer, weather permitting, I'll just get a wild hair and decide we're going to go swimming. And we go out to lakes that are kind of far away from here. But driving can be very therapeutic, especially when you're listening to music that helps. How often do you see your other kids? Whew, not as often as I'd like. When I split up with my ex, I see him all the time. About 5-6 years ago. And one thing I learned from, having Josh full time is teenagers are quirky when it comes to who they want to spend time with. They don't always want to hang with mom. I see Nikki. I see Josh, of course, every day. But I see Nikki more than I see any of the other ones. She messages me on Facebook every day. We talk, even if it's just a few sentences, a few words, we talk every day. I see her about once a week. Jonathan, I see him maybe once a month. And that's literally just in passing. He's busy with school, busy with his job. Robert, I see very rarely. Like I said, he's the 19-year-old. He's working. He's doing his own thing. Hunter has been incarcerated off and on for like the past, I think, 3 years. Might not be that long. Might be about 2. But it's been a while, so I literally only see him on the rare times that he's actually home. And Raylan lives with her dad. Her dad has custody. I don't see her hardly at all. When me and my sister are on good terms, then it's more often than not. But me and my sister are not on good terms right now, so I don't really see Raylan. But yeah, Josh and Nikki are like the main ones that I see, and it's sad. It's sad for me, and I'm sure it's sad for them. But now that they're growing up and getting older and doing more things, they also don't have a lot of time for mom. Either mom. It's hard. It's hard when you realize that. Why do you want to start over having children when Josh is already 13 and almost grown? Never had a child of my own. Never experienced pregnancy. Never experienced giving birth. My husband and I have none of our own children. I spent my whole life raising everyone else's. Spent my whole life taking care of everyone else and their needs and wants before mine. So, it's time. I got my shit together, for the most part medically, and finally got the okay from the doctors that it was safe and healthy for me to try. And why not? I'm a good mom. I helped raise 6 beautiful children. It's time for me to raise one of my own and one of my husband's. Now, do I want 6 more kids? No. 1 or 2 will be okay. But let's face it, I'm almost 40. And I don't want to be raising kids in my 80s. spinach dip's good. My husband likes it a lot. There was one question. I wasn't sure if I was going to address it. But was it that bad being on my 600-pound life? I knew going in it wasn't going to be easy. Lots of dieting and restrictions and exercise and doctor's appointments and travel and possibly moving to Texas. I knew going in wasn't going to be easy. I never thought for 1 minute that everything else would be as hard and painful as it ended up being. I never thought it would affect my child the way it did. And I never thought it would affect my husband the way it did. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't even realize. A lot of things that are not true. And a lot of things that you're forced to say and do that you would never do. So, was it that bad? Oh, honey, you have no idea, but you will. Because I'm going to let it all out. I am full. So full. So, I'm going to get off here. Go spend some time with the family, upload this video. And I will see you all next time. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload. You can like. It helps with my algorithm. And I'd love it if you would share it. Let other people know what you watch. And that's it. You all have a great day.